FreshBaked, I got some breaking news that I wanted to share with you guys. Apparently, Ken Potrick appeared on a podcast. Ken Potrick is the president of Disneyland. He appeared on the D23 podcast recently, and he spoke about the annual pass program. I'm going to get right into this. He confirmed, the Disneyland president confirmed that annual passes, there will be a new annual pass program before the end of the year. We will have an answer on what that's going to look like and everything by the end of the year, which is aligns up pretty much with what I was thinking. I think they want to get through most of the capacity limitations before they start talking about bringing back annual pass holders. I felt like that might be, 2022. End of 2021 sounds pretty good to me. He didn't really say otherwise what those details might be. I think that they're still working on it. They're still designing it. But he did confirm something that we kind of all assumed. The reason why they killed the pass program was for two reasons. One was because of the capacity restrictions. Annual pass holders would have screwed everything up. I love us. I love my annual pass, but I just know that the sheer volume of annual pass holders would have mucked up the whole reservation process. It would not have gone well. We're in a better situation as far as everybody's concerned, not just annual pass holders, but the populace of Disney fans by doing this as we are. I know it costs everybody a lot more money who is used to having annual pass. But it's not about me, right? It's not about us. It's about everybody. So there's that. The capacity limitations really drove this, and they took that as an opportunity to reimagine the program. And now he used the term consumer-centric or customer-centric. They're thinking of us when they designed this new program, which maybe they are. I'm sure they are to some extent. But really, clearly, they want a program that's better for Disney also. The current annual pass program, or I should say the one that expired, was definitely in favor of us, of the pass holders. We were the winners in that situation, in that arrangement, in that relationship. So I think that they're trying to figure out a way to benefit Disney more. And by that, I don't necessarily mean charging more or giving us less benefits. If anything, we might get more benefits. What they want is more control. We're talking about reservations and FlexPass, that kind of thing. That's my guess. But the bottom line here, as far as the breaking news goes, we should have a new annual pass program by the end of this year. He also mentioned a few other things during this podcast. Next was that he has a date for the Jungle Cruise, or a time frame, summer of 2021, this summer. So it's under refurb right now. If you were to go over to, let's say, Jungle Cruise, it's closed, go in the Tropical Hideaway, the big no-seam green screens. You can't look into there. I was going to go take my camera over there, but maybe I'll find a little nook or something. But that is exactly what they're working on right now. They are working on the enhancements, the changes that we've seen them already working on at WDW. So look for the new Trader Sam scene that you may have heard about already. Trader Sam is now the trading post at the gift shop. I kind of like it. I didn't really get to talk about this in a video or anything like that, but I do like the new scene. I think it's clever. I think it's very clever, and it's a nice exchange. It's still being run by Trader Sam. But I digress. Let's talk about news. He mentioned a third thing, and that is that they have, I'm going to use the term major plans, but I'm sort of inferring that from the way he spoke. Major plans for downtown Disney. Ken Potrick, if you don't know, comes from Disney Springs. He's the guy who led the reimagining of Disney Springs and Walt Disney World a few years ago. They completely changed how that was done. I remember following that, and it was a big deal. And he's bringing that influence over here to California. We've already seen the influence on Disney Springs in the concept art for Disneyland Forward. If you looked at that thing that they're planning for Toy Story, the Toy Story lot, that was screaming Disney Springs. If not, just the way it felt to me like a Disney Springs type situation. And I'm sure that's part of what he's talking about. Now, it does affirm also, or I should say, it does affirm that the downtown Disney will still be a thing when Disney Forward starts to happen, if it ever does. There was some debate in my own mind about whether or not downtown Disney could survive based on how things were looking in the concept art. It looked like maybe they were trying to encroach the expansion, the paid part of the park, into downtown Disney space, and I wasn't sure how those two things would connect. But it does sound like he's got major plans. I think there's going to be a very cool, interesting integration between the open to the public downtown Disney areas and how they sort of intersect with the proper Disneyland space, you know, the expansion space that's happening back there in that area behind downtown Disney. So I'm encouraged by this, and it sounds like they've got some pretty interesting plans. So book that. Oh, and then one last thing, it was kind of a passing mention. They were talking about what we should expect when the parks, you know, as the parks reopen, what kind of changes. He said they've had a year to work on some things. Not Tomorrowland, not the People Mover. They've spent their year working on tech, on digital tech, the app, mobile ordering, virtual queues, mobile dine waiting, anything that they want your app to be more important in your day, and in a good way. We already know about mobile ordering. That's great. We already know about MaxPass. That's great. If you pay for it. The mobile wait dining thing is interesting. It's now for table service locations, Cafe Orleans, River Bell, that kind of thing. You can get on a wait list on your phone rather than standing by and waiting with a little pager. So it's so analog and old school. Remember when that was brand new tech? Remember when that pager was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Anyway, more of that. But he also mentioned, and I'll use the word that I've been paying attention to, a single letter that makes a big difference: virtual queues. Queues, virtual queues, not just Rise of the Resistance, but other attractions. It sounds like they've got a whole module in the phone now. They got a whole module set up for this. There's still just the one attraction in there, but they got a whole module set up for virtual queues. It sounds like they're putting more time, money, and effort into growing that segment of the park operations. So I would expect within this year to see quite a few attractions join the virtual queue system, which I guess that's good. I don't know. I haven't had much experience with it. Rise of Resistance is very competitive. They sell out fast. I don't imagine, many other attractions will have that much demand, so I don't think it'll be as competitive. It'll be interesting to pay attention to see how this goes. I cannot wait to test that. So there you go, guys. That's the breaking news from the D23 podcast featuring Disneyland President Ken Patrick. Annual passes by the end of the year. Jungle Cruise by summer 2021. That's this summer. That's just a few months. So they probably have been working on this while the thing was... Anyway. Plans for Downtown Disney. Look for that to grow with Disneyland Forward. And then more tech, more phone, more mobile, whatever, coming your way to the Disneyland app. Interesting times ahead. Plus, we get to go back to Disneyland. I'm going to see you there tomorrow, FreshBaked. I'm going to be there tomorrow for opening day of Disneyland. It's tomorrow. Hey, by the way, let me take this last second to remind everybody. I know this is really important, and I want to make sure I say this as many times as possible. I feel like I haven't said it enough. If you bought a ticket, make sure you also made a reservation. So many people, and I still get this today. I've had people to contact me today and said, thank you, David, for saying what you said, because I bought a ticket, but I didn't make a reservation. It's very easy to think that you did, because the first thing that thing wants you to do when you buy a ticket is to pick a date. But that date is not your reservation. That date is just to tell you how much it's going to cost. They're trying to figure out what tier your ticket is going to be, but it's not a reservation. Below the fold, after you complete your purchase, below the fold is a button that says make your reservation. Go check your tickets now. Go onto the Disneyland app. Go onto the Disneyland website, view your tickets, and see if there's a date attached. I think you have to go on the Disneyland website to see it more clearly. See if there's a date attached. If it says make a reservation, you didn't make one. Okay, but if there is a date there, or if it says you can't make one because you've already got one, then you're good. But I highly recommend doing that, even if just double check, you guys, double check. Because the last thing I want for anybody to do is to arrive on July 23rd with your ticket, and you're like, hey, I'm going to Disneyland. They're like, boing, you can't come in because you didn't make a reservation. Double check, please, because it's very confusing. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked and on Twitter at FreshBakedDizzy. That's fresh with no E. I just winged this entire thing, so that's why I'm like... Anyway, be safe out there, FreshBaked. Be kind to one another. I love you guys. We'll see you next time. FreshBaked.